Well, we're about to begin again. Don said the brass came in today, so I came over to his place so we can lay this out. That's the nut we're making. That's the nut I did make and was very happy with it till we figured out it's a double start screw instead of a single start. So I have to set this all back up in my CNC machine, and I need a piece of I need to machine a bait so that it will fit in the machine, its vise. And the way I did it last time is I took a piece of machine wax and set this up to where it will work. Don's coming. Everybody run. He said the brass has changed price. $200 instead of $160 now. And most of that was in shipping. It's just bronze made for nuts. So let me unbox that and I'll show you. There's the replacement piece. This has to come out of it, and basically I take everything that doesn't look like this out of that and end up with this. But because I got to line it up again in the machine and everything, I'm going to cut another nut, make sure everything's okay out of the machine wax before I machine that again. So Don and I are both running on fumes today. It's been a long day. But I need to get the base cut. And basically what it is it'll have that piece there on the bottom where we'll mill out a little ledge here so I can put that in a vise and hold it well. Basically what I'm doing is I need to make my blanks the same. And this is a piece of machine wax that it's not square on top, but it is on bottom. And I want it to be the exact same size as this. So I'm just going to take a razor and hold it here and turn this around. Then go put it on the saw and cut this piece off. Got me a line there now. It's easy to see. This is machinist wax. It machines very nicely, and you get all the pieces together and you can remelt it and use it over and over and over and over again. Like this piece here. It was what we cut off of the base of the nuts so we could finish machining them. But this is what I'll be ending up with. I'll go cut this. All right. So now we've got a piece that's almost perfect height to that. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm using this to set up. So when I set this one up in my CNC, I know that this one will be the same height and everything. Now let's mark it out. So now we've got that. I put a square on this, and I know this is the right way. And this is the piece that I cut off of the other nuts that we made. And basically, I'm using it to define the step that we need to mill in each side. And the vise will hold this. So I'm going to take a scribe and line this up, and should have it just the way it was before. This isn't critical. Just tell me where I need to machine it off. That's not a... That is not a chip brush.
This is a chip brush.
Watch.
Look at that. Look at that.
Get away from me, you.
Look at that. We're good.
God.
Oh, nice.
I try and I try and I try. I say, look for your chip brush.
What's wrong with that? Where?
Your idea of a chip brush. Better than yours is anyway. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer that measurement to this side. So we'll have an easy benchmark. And I won't rely on your DRO that God knows if it works or not. Well, that's all we needed right there.
You never said
She's
how
ready.
pretty your brake was since I already did it.
Do what?
You never said anything about how pretty this brake is since I already did it.
That brake came out of my high school metal shop class. You got fancy handles? I gave it to Don a couple years ago because it's kind of in my way. He brought it over here and
Big rust bucket.
fixed it up. You can put fancy bolts in it. I gotta go get a battery, Don. I can't sit here and talk about your handiwork all day long.
I gotta make some of these.
Too bad you don't have any railroad ties or railroad rail.
I do. I have 2 pieces.
Not mine.
Motorcycle. The motorcycle is like 8 foot long, and it takes up a lot of room.
Well, you don't need to be driving a motorcycle anyway. You ought to sell it
Yes, Daddy.
and buy me something.
Yes, Daddy.
You wish. You wish. Well, I've got the steps made in the $200 piece of brass. Oh, went from 160 to 200. Most of that was in the shipping, right?
Yeah, the shipping went up. It was almost $49 just for shipping.
Don't mess this one
The
up.
brass only costs about $160, but
About 160 then the shipping.
then the shipping.
Oh well.
Actually, $150. $150 for the.
This time we'll have 3 pieces of machine wax to try it
I
on
think
before
we're
we
gonna
even
try-
touch
I
it.
think we're gonna try the machine wax. That was my fault too, because you remember I said, it's gonna work. Let's just go right to the nut.
Well, it would have worked nice, really fine
Yeah, if it wasn't a double.
if it wasn't a double multi-lead start.
Mm.
But you had other problems this week.
Oh yeah. Dodge transmission. They suck.
They suck.
The 68 FREs are better than the 48s, which is what is in my old truck. But I don't see how, because both of them went out.
Yeah, well, you're driving around your old truck with no third gear,
No second gear.
no second
I've been
gear.
doing that for 7 years. You just gotta let off like you're clutching
Like
it.
you're double clutching and
Yeah, you wind out first gear, then it goes right into third gear. Just skip second. It's a gas saving function.
gas saving.
Yeah.
It's a diesel truck, sir.
No.
So why you've been fighting
Got 6
a warning code
code.
for 2 months?
It's a pressure code which usually indicates the pump's going out. And I only have 64,000 miles on that truck.
And you don't drive it hard.
Of course, it has a 100,000 mile 5-year warranty.
Yep.
And it's 6 years old, so go figure. Anyway, I brought it to Dodge. At first, I brought it a couple of weeks ago, and they said, "Oh, it's the valve body." It was the valve body.
You went for hold on, let's back up. Okay. As the way I understand this Dodge truck of yours, you were having a code
Yeah, it was a pressure code.
and it would put you in limp mode,
Yeah, but all I had to do was turn the car off and turn it back on, and it would
go away.
go away, and it pretty much shifted fine.
So you found a Dodge dealer in a town just west of here.
Well, that's where I bought the truck from, and they've always been pretty fair. So I brought it over there 2 weeks ago, and they said, "Oop, it's the shift valve body."
But wait. It gets worse than that.
Oh wait, but that's where it was.
But there was another trip. Remember, you made an appointment and you drove over there, and on the way, the code popped up again and you were stuck, so you didn't know about turning it off. So you used your code reader to reset the code.
Right, and I went over there because I made an appointment. I went over there and they said, "Oh, you don't have an active code. We can't do nothing about it." I said, "Here's a copy of the code. I've showed them on my phone. What more do you want?" "Oh, no, we can't do that." So I had to make another appointment. So that was 2 weeks ago. I went, got there and looked at it and said, "Oh yeah, we caught it doing it while it was here." Technician says it's the shift valve body, which is a module about that big. There's about 8 screws. Pop it out, pop it in.
It's inside the pan, though.
But you drop the pan, and then, it's not a hard job.
Okay.
So they didn't have it in stock, so they ordered a part. So they ordered a part. They called me, came in. I brought it there a couple of days ago. Sitting there after about an hour and a half, little girl comes up. Well, I got good news and I got bad news. I said, just tell me what. She said, well, it's not the valve by a shift body part. That's the good news. The bad news is you need a whole new transmission. I said, then well, how is the first one not bad news also?
Yeah.
Because that one was $2,200. Here's the good part.
Well, whoa. How much did she want for a transmission?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Here's the good part.
Oh, the good part, she said.
Yeah, she said $11,000 to put the same type of piece of garbage transmission in it again. And I kind of laughed at her. I said, oh, no, thank you. I don't think so. So then I have a local guy that's a mechanic. He runs a mechanic shop. So I called him. He just happened to have hired about a year ago a guy that worked for Dodge for 21 years. And all he did was transmissions with Dodge.
I want to back up one more thing. You forgot something that kind of irritated the hell out of me.
What?
I asked you, you'd gone over there and you said you were going to get a transmission fluid change and everything while you were there. Yeah. They had to take the pan off anyway. And I asked you if you at least had that done, and you said no. They didn't take the pan off. And so I said, well, how do they know it's not the valve body?
He's because he drove it and looking at the code. This was a different guy. This is supposedly their super tech that wasn't there the first time I brought it in. Anyway, he said the fluid was all burnt. So anyway.
So the first person that you went to was totally incompetent.
Obviously.
Couldn't figure out that just by driving it and smelling the fluid.
Obviously. Anyway.
That's what frosts my Cheerios.
So, like I said, I called the local guy here. He had hired, he's got a guy working for him that worked for Dodge for 21 years just doing transmissions. So he knows
well, I mean, he probably had a lot of practice if they were Dodge transmissions.
Yeah, so I brought it over there, and even he said, yeah, all these transmissions go out because they build them with very, they don't use high-performance parts in them, and it's a diesel. And because of the torque, they blow them. And Dodge knows it's bad. Everybody knows it's bad, but they don't do a dang thing about it. But he says, we got some good news. He says all of our transmissions that we get for all these kids that like to juice up their diesels and roll coal and stuff in high performance, he says, I can get you one of those transmissions. He said, you put one of those in there and you never have another problem because it's all beefed up parts on the inside. So I said, okay, well, how much is that? Well, the transmission's $5,500. Beefed up. And a couple of thousand for labor. So it went from $11,000 for the same piece of garbage transmission that I got in it, down to $7,000 for a beefed up transmission, and I won't ever have to worry about it again. It has a 3-year, 100,000-mile warranty, which is pretty good for for somebody to do that.
That's 2 years for me.
Anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. Am I happy with my Dodge truck? Yes. Do I like Dodge transmissions? No, they suck. They all suck because they all go out on these diesel trucks anyway. They just my other truck went out about 80,000.
It's still out.
Well, it's drivable.
Well, it's drivable, yeah.
I mean, it went really out.
That's what they said about the Titanic after it hit the iceberg. It's drivable.
The first time it went out, it wouldn't move. So it blew it totally out. And that was at about 80,000 miles. But that was the 48 FRE. This one's supposed to be the new and improved 68. But it still sucks. You know,
they screwed up a long time ago when they went away from the Allison transmission.
I read an article where they're going to put them back in now, Dodge, in their new models coming up. I don't know.
Well, you can't really afford to buy a Dodge if you're going to have to put $11,000 into it every 60,000 miles.
I could put an Allison Trans kit in it. But that's about 18,000 bucks.
Or you could go buy a Chevy.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, get away from me.
Yeah.
The Rock 2 is at 77,000 miles now.
Yeah.
Not 2 years old now, year and a half, something like, I don't remember.
Definitely doing better than the first one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Definitely doing better than the first one.
I'm sorry you're having problems.
Yeah, it is what it is, you know.
This is a polish.
Stuff happens, you know.
Always to you, though. How's that?
No, just the way. Doing penance, I guess. Trying to get into heaven. Anyway,
Well, we're going to work on this.
see if we can run another 200 bucks worth of brass.
What's this weed Kimusabi?
Oh, that's right. I didn't do anything.
Except tell me what thread it was. This is a 4 thread.
Well,
You didn't even know they made them. I didn't check it. Did not.
You checked it with the thread.
You put the knot on
You
there
checked it with the thread gauge over there, and you went, "Yep, it's 4."
on that end. I was going by your expertise.
Well, you sure? That's where you made
Yeah,
your
that's
mistake
right.
right
I
there.
did.
You should know better than that.
Say goodnight, Don.
Good night, guys.
Good night, folks.